Good afternoon. I'm Michael Maso, and on behalf of Peter DuBois and the Huntington board leaders represented on stage by Carol Deane, David Epstein, and Sharon Malt, I'm delighted to welcome you to this important event. I stand before you on a stage that is steeped in Boston's cultural heritage, and which for the past 34 years has served as the cornerstone of the myriad ways that the Huntington Theatre Company creates value for our community each day. As you may have heard, the extraordinary 90-year-long cultural legacy of this theater and much of the ongoing work of the Huntington has been under threat for the past 10 months. What you may not know is that from the moment that threat arose, it was very clear to us that we had an active and engaged ally at City Hall. Please welcome that very good friend, the mayor of the city of Boston, Mayor Marty Walsh.
Thank you, Michael. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. I want to standing ovation at theater. That's good. I should just take a bow and leave right now. I want to thank Michael and everyone from the Huntington in the cultural community in the Fenway neighborhood. Today is an exciting day. I'm thrilled for everyone in this theater. As I look out, many of you have spent a lot of time in this theater, and I want to thank you for being here today. As most of you know, BU recently sold this complex, and there were some questions about the future of this great theater in the city. My office got involved right away. Joyce Linehan was the first person who came into my office, and Joyce is right here, and she said, we have to do something. This is the biggest news in Boston's in about 100 years, and we have to do something about the Huntington Theatre. And our team got to work on the issue right away, and we asked everyone to come to the table. We sat down, we had many different meetings to keep the Huntington as a place that's here, first of all, and thriving right here on the arts, the Avenue of the Arts on Huntington Avenue. And we did it because of the importance of this theater, the history here, both nationally and internationally. Also, this theater drives the local economy, even though that's not why we really did it, but it also drives the local economy. The Huntington is an anchor here in the Fenway area, also in the South End and all across our city. Its legacy is rich in diversity and its commitment to the great African-American playwright August Wilson, to its innovative partners with the Codman Academy Charter School. The Huntington is one of Boston's best and biggest, brightest treasures. I see City Council President Michelle Wu out there. I didn't see Councilor Wu. Thank you for being here with us today as well. We wanted to make sure, and we all worked together to make sure that there was a positive working relationship between the company and its new owners, and we found that with John, and I want to thank John and his associates at QMG for their responsible, committed partnership. And one of the first meetings we had, we talked about this theater, and their question was, and I don't know if we can make this work, the question is, let's make this work. And I truly want to thank them because when the new developer came in, their commitment as well to the arts was so incredible. So I want to thank the developer as well for their work. The Huntington is going to gain exclusive control of this historic theater where it's been for over 3 decades. Something that's a little different. That's a very good thing. The Huntington will also control the wing to its west, which plans to fully renovate it at its own expense. So we're going to be talking about a little while. We're going to have to do a little fundraising here. We're excited about that. And it'll expand its lobbies and other public amenities into spaces provided by QMG as well. More details will emerge in the coming months, and the city is going to continue to stay involved through every single step of the way to make sure that what emerges from this agreement continues to work for the entire community in its best interest. The bottom line is that the Huntington is here to stay on Huntington Ave where it belongs. And another important factor is instead of getting smaller, this announcement sets the stage for the Huntington to grow to its groundbreaking productions and to its national reputation, to grow in its relationships with other arts organizations, to grow in its service to the young people and the community in our city here in Boston. The kinds of future planned announcements will be put in motion. We're also finalizing our new cultural plan. There's been a lot of discussion about it. It's produced by arts community here in the city of Boston. We're going to see some very exciting announcements in the arts as we move forward. We're focused on a lot of the needs of artists, small grassroots organization, and everyone in between, and we know that that's really important. But we also know, we heard from everybody, that has strong internationally renowned institutions and world-class performance spaces and non-negotiables for municipal arts leaders. That's why the Huntington has been Boston's theater for the performing arts scene. It's been an anchor of stability and the light of inspiration, and it will be for the future. I know that when I got up here, Michael gave me a lot of credit, but a lot of people made this possible today, and everyone who has been patient, supportive during these transitions, I want to thank you. Some of the folks on the stage here, I want to thank Kelly Brilliant from the Fenway Alliance. I want to thank from the City Hall team, Joyce Linehan, who deserves an awful lot of credit from the very beginning. Joyce was very active in the beginning. Julie Barros, the Chief of Arts and Culture for the City of Boston, and John Barros, the Chief of Economic Development for the City of Boston. Again, I want to thank John Matteson and his partners. We would not be here today making this announcement if we didn't have very strong partners, and I want to thank them. I want to thank Michael Maso as well, Paul DuBois. I want to thank Paul and Carol Deane, the chair. I want to thank Carol for her great work, and I want to thank David Epstein, the incoming chair, who we had a brief conversation backstage about raising money. I was serious about that. I want to thank Mitch Roberts, the president, and Sharon, Malt, the incoming president, everyone here at the Huntington for their leadership in the cultural life of our great city. And I want to thank the people that are in the audience today, because you truly are, as I look around, I see a lot of driving forces out there. Some of you come from different arts institutions to be supportive of each other. Some of you are from the main streets. Some of you are from the community as a whole in the city of Boston. I want to thank you for your ongoing support. I also see my dear friend and my former colleague of the House of Representatives, somebody who's been a champion for so many different organizations, and that's State Representative Gloria Fox. I want to thank Representative Fox for being here as well with us today. I don't know if there's other elected officials. If there is, I apologize if I miss you, but we'll get you. But I truly want to, this is an exciting announcement. When I ran for mayor of the city of Boston, and I say this often, we had probably about 130 different forums around the city of Boston on every topic you could imagine. And the largest forum that we had was around arts and culture and the future of arts and culture in the city of Boston. And at that forum, there was 12 of us on the stage, and I was the first, because I was probably the first one that got asked the question, and I talked about elevating the arts to cabinet level position, but not only elevating to the cabinet level position, but making a real investment and a real difference in the arts. And everybody on the stage that night understood the importance of it because of the crowd that came. Some of you, many of you in this audience were there that day. Today is a big step, but a small step in truly making sure that we fulfill our full potential here in the city of Boston. So again, I want to thank you all for being here. This is an exciting day, not just for us in this room, not for us in this theater, not just the Huntington Theater. This is an exciting day for the entire city of Boston today to make this announcement. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to echo, we have a few more speakers for you. I want to echo the mayor's appreciation of the three J's, John Barros, Julie Burros, and Joyce Linehan. For their steadfast support and commitment to this effort, but we all do know, Mr. Mayor, it starts from the top. Peter DuBois and I are grateful for the extraordinary board leadership we have. We've already introduced the extraordinary leaders who are on stage, Carol and David and Sharon, and with a nod to Mitch Roberts, who is in Paris. David has also led a committee of real estate professionals, including a few folks in the House tonight, including today, Bill Fennard, Dave Leathers, and Bill McQuillan, who are essential players in this effort. Any progress that we've really made on the real estate front has come from their guidance and wise counsel. And Peter and David and I are very grateful to John Matteson and his team for their willingness to embrace the added value that will come from an alignment with a thriving year-round cultural venue. We complicate matters, but we think that very complexity is at the heart of what makes cities and neighborhoods great. As the mayor said, the Huntington is committed to restoring the historic elements of this beloved piece of theatrical architecture, which legendary theater critic Elliot Norton called the most beautiful playhouse in Boston. We will modernize its infrastructure. We will expand our public spaces in order to better serve our neighborhood, to provide an audience experience that matches the level of the artistry that Peter and the great Huntington staff bring to this stage. And yes, that does mean lots more women's restrooms. This stage has seen the sweeping century cycle of August Wilson, the mastery of Shakespeare and Eugene O'Neill and Tennessee Williams and Stephen Sondheim, and great new writers like Ayad Akhtar of this year's disgraced. It's seen the extraordinary artistry of local legends like Will Lyman and Bobby Steinbach there in the front row, and of national treasures like Felicia Rashad and Nathan Lane, John C. Reilly, Angela Bassett, Viola Davis, Kate Burton, Victor Garber, most recently Nick Offerman. That's a legacy which we plan to continue. But I would be remiss if I didn't also say that this is not the end of our journey. It is only the very essential first step. Thanks to all of you, we've been given this opportunity to bring our cultural legacy fully into the 21st century. 2 nights ago in Brooklyn, a friend of the mayor's reminded the country that it still takes a village. In this case, it will take the combined and continuing efforts of our friends in government, of our generous individual patrons, of our corporate and philanthropic citizens to bring this vision to reality. We have a great deal of planning to do. Then, as everyone has said, as the mayor said, we will have a great deal of money to raise. But with your help, we can and we will fulfill the vision that this agreement makes possible. Thank you. John?
Hi, everyone. On behalf of the partnership, we would like to thank the mayor for his leadership in this process, and especially the staff and the BRA to help us get through this and get us to the point we're at today. Also like to put a thank you to BU for giving us the opportunity to acquire these assets and be able to do this with Michael. So it worked out great. Lastly, we're here for the long term. We are very focused on the Avenue of the Arts, and we're excited about what's going to become of the new Huntington Theater. So thank you very much. And
They told us we are. I think it's Kelly. Kelly.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Fenway Alliance and the Fenway Cultural District community, I'm thrilled that the Huntington Theater will remain and now really be able to thrive on the Avenue of the Arts in the Fenway Cultural District. We are deeply appreciative of Mayor Walsh and his team, Joyce, Linehan, John Barros, and Julie Burros, for their vision and achievement of this effort, and for Mr. Matteson, the developer whose foresight and civic-mindedness enabled the theater to remain in its home here. I also want to express our sincere appreciation to Huntington Theater Managing Director Michael Maso and the entire Huntington Theater team for their commitment to the Cultural District and their perseverance. I'd like to thank the other 20 members of the Fenway Alliance for their abiding support for this neighborhood, and our campaign partners in the Huntington on Huntington campaign effort, Arts Boston, Stage Source, and Mass Creative. In the Fenway, as many of you know, we are incredibly fortunate to be home to a great baseball team and ballpark, an Olmsted Emerald Necklace Park, a world-class symphony, 2 world-class museums, top-notch galleries, design and music schools, and theater. The Huntington has always produced above its weight in terms of the quality of its productions, beauty and innovation of its sets, and the talent and searching intellect of its playwrights, many of whom are local to New England, many of whom are young, from diverse backgrounds. They offer us new voices and they challenge old perspectives. The Huntington Theatre is a backbone not only for a dedicated, engaged arts audience in Boston, but it's also a tangible presence, an intellectual and emotional touchstone of our community, the Fenway. On so many Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights and Sunday afternoons, the theater is a buzzing gathering place for the Fenway Cultural District. A neighbor who welcomes us all, who lifts our spirits, opens and at times rightfully unsettles our minds, and informs us artistically about the human condition in a way that only live, quality theater can. We are so happy that you are here and you will remain here. Thank you.
I'd also like to acknowledge Lenny and Carol Akins, who are here today. Lenny for his great work in civil rights, and Carol for being a board member. So now comes the portion for the press. Any questions from the press? I know they're scattered throughout. I saw a few people not standing and clapping, so I'm assuming you were press.
Yeah, I mean, we're just starting the process, but we're not looking to touch the theater.
So they're still working through the process with the Boston Redevelopment Authority as well on what the design will be, but the building itself, the theater building, will not be touched. We're not sure exactly what's going to look like around it yet. They're still working on drawings and schematics, what it would be, and there will be a community process as well to work through the community as well because of the design of what the building will look like.
I can add one thing. Yeah, I'll just add that. So to the buildings to my right here, to our east, are our production center, scene shops, rehearsal halls. Those buildings, we're going to have to relocate our production center somewhere else, not on Huntington Avenue, and that's the focus of John's building.
Yes. Theater.
Sometime during renovation, we'll have to be closed unless you want to be less comfortable than you are now.
There's gonna be a period, and more announcements will be made as we move forward in the design of what the building will be, and there'll be phased-in construction, obviously, because you're talking about building a pretty big building next adjoining to this, and also doing some renovations. So all of that will come as we move further down the road. I also want to recognize City Councilor Nisa Sabi George, who's here with us today. Thank you, Councilor. Any questions from the public? If you have any, please, while you got everyone here. Well, that's probably the easiest. Oh, we got one. Okay. Yes.
Mayor Walsh, Captain Peterson, Arts Boston, I just want to thank you for your personal commitment to make this happen, and to all of your incredible team. This means not only a lot to the Huntington, to the kids who come here for matinees, the incredible work they do out in our neighborhoods, but to the entire arts community and to making sure that our community can thrive. So thank you so much.
No, thank you very much. That was probably one of our biggest concerns of the young people that use this performance space that come in. And you know, I think that when we often read about in the newspaper, we hear about a tragedy, what happened like at the Burke High School yesterday. when a 17-year-old boy got killed coming out of school. We have to provide more opportunities in the arts and in different, just so young people get a chance, a flavor for it. And I think it's very important that we do that. And it happens here almost every day. And maybe not the whole world knows about it. And I would ask the newspapers to report so the whole world knows about exactly what happens in this theater and just how important this is today, this announcement today. This is big, and it's big for the entire city of Boston, as I said earlier, and probably bigger for the greater Boston region. So I would ask the press, as you're writing your stories, and you know that already, just incorporate exactly how big this is for so many people that wouldn't otherwise not have a chance to ever stand on a stage and perform. And people might not make it to Broadway, but this is Broadway for them, and this is their time, and they'll talk about it forever. So. Is there another question? Yes, sir.
Can you tell us more about the city's role in brokering this, and perhaps can we hear from the developer about what you heard that was enticing to you that brought this together, basically?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we first heard that Boston University was thinking, well, we're going to sell the property, we sat down with them and tried to make this part of any potential deal that would happen, that Huntington would be absorbed in that deal. And they weren't able to do that. I mean, they were selling a building, and they were trying to put out there. So when they put out the bids, I don't know how many, I think there was 6 people that might have bid on the project. We kind of got word of a few of them, and we reached out to some of them. And when the developer was chosen, we had a meeting probably right away, I think like 2 days later. And when you have a willing partner to open up, I don't know what's in the deal per se. A lot of it is what they're absorbing as far as working with the theater company. I mean, the theater company's going to have to raise some money to do the renovations and things like that. But the company is, I don't want to say, risk is probably too strong of a word, but when they bought the building, I'm not sure if, and I'll let them talk about it, I'm not sure they exactly were thinking that they were going to be having the theater stay here. Maybe move the theater somewhere else, or maybe move the theater within the building. And I think as we continue the conversations, they were a very willing partner here. But as was the Huntington, to be willing to sit down and talk. And I think anytime that you have 3 parties, and I'll throw the city in as a third party, the Huntington, the developer, and the city that's willing to sit down at a table and talk about something, it was positive. There was never a moment, I don't think, that I ever felt that once this property was sold, that this theater was in jeopardy, because the team came in and basically said to us, we'll make it work, and I want to commend them for it as well. So I don't know if you want to address anything with that.
I mean, going into this, we always knew there would be a theater. We didn't know if we would develop the site into a new theater working with Michael, or keep the existing theater. But very quickly, within a day or two, we realized that the plans really were to maintain the existing property and renovate it and kind of work with Michael. So it's all worked out great.
Burros Actor Shakespeare Project. Do you see this as a potential example to work with other developers around the city as a way of kind of keeping cultural influence on the landscape, particularly volatile areas such as Four Point Channel, as those areas are expanded and developed?
Yeah, no question about it. No question about it. I mean, whenever we think about, you see what happens in other places, whether it's a school in the building or a performance theater in a building, there's a lot of opportunity. And I think if you have a developer, as we look at all the development happening in Boston right now, it's something that we all keep an eye on. When I literally, Joyce or Julie or John, Joyce particularly will come to me and say, maybe there's an opportunity for us in this particular development. John, when he goes out and tries to attract companies and brings companies to our city, does the same thing. And we bring in the Boston Redevelopment Authority to talk to them as well about it, to see, is there something that could work in this building? So I see this as an opportunity for us to think about how we do maybe more public-private partnerships. When I say public-private, the private being the developer and the public being the nonprofit, I think there's a lot more potential we could do here. About 20.
I thought you'd never ask. So actually, the answer is we don't have a formal campaign goal yet, and that will take us a little bit of time. But I have to say, certainly, I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in order to do this right and make sure that we can support this operation going forward, we're probably talking $60 to $70 million. That's sort of the baseline starting conversation that we'll have internally about what we have to raise. And just as a matter of example, when we built the Calderwood Pavilion, which we opened in 2004, we raised about $24 million. So this is, this is more.
In follow-up to that, but I do think, and this gentleman asked the question about, is there an opportunity for other opportunities like this? I think there's a real desire in our city. There's a real hunger for the arts, and I think there's a lot of folks that are in the business community that want to see a real commitment. And I think that you don't get much more of a commitment than what's happening here. So I think that there's a lot of generous folks out there that will say, okay, let's make the investment in the city of Boston. There's so many great things happening, and this truly is an incredible investment for folks that will look and see this partnership, but also preserving such a great space. Yes.
Mayor Walsh, would you or someone speak about the timeline?
Probably a few months. Yeah. It's like 6 months. Yeah.
It's your timeline. It starts with
Yeah, I mean, the timeline, I mean, we're looking for the next, the theater itself will stay in operations till July 2017, as you see it today. And then, within that time frame, the plans and that will be put together for the renovation. At the same time, as I stated before, we're just starting our design process for next door, and we'll work through the BRA process, and we'll have neighborhood meetings and discuss it. And that will probably be another 12 months, plus another 24 months to build. So we're looking, it's probably looking more to 24 to 36 months for all of this to take place. The renovation of the theater from today. Yeah, I mean, the theater renovation's 12 months, 10 months, 12 months. As quickly as possible, but yeah. And there'll be, so we're looking at, a good 36 months, I would say, when you see everything completed.
Yeah, and as we get closer, there'll be more defined time on it and things like that, as far as through the process and the design process and the community process and things like that. Well, listen, thank you very much for coming out today. I appreciate it. And enjoy.